Netosportsglobal. Netosportsglobal. Hashtag NSG. Remember to like and subscribe.
Udia Sima Datera, Ongbong Dia, a day above the ground, is a very good day. Today is another exciting and exhilarating day where we get to speak the beautiful sport of baseball. This is Netosportsglobal, hashtag NSG, episode 6. And of course, we are proudly powered by the Academy of Sound Engineering, hashtag ASE. Remember to do the right thing. Like and subscribe. Let's now welcome our guests to this exciting edition. We've got exciting family members, like mother, like son. Let's start with Ethan. Ethan, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Netosportsglobal.
Good afternoon, Neto, and thank you for having us today. It's a proud moment to be sitting with my mom, both wearing the green and gold that we're proud to wear as baseball players.
Marvelous stuff. That's Ethan Grobler. And of course, we also have the mother, Geraldine Grobler. Madam, thank you so much and a warm welcome to Netosportsglobal.
Thank you, Neto. It's really great to be back and quite excited for the interview.
Fantastico. My name is Neto. N-E-T-O, Chamani. Hosiati, Konyangazi, Mumka, Japandle Gunjani, Moyani, Vugu Dendele. Let's get on to it. Madam, let's start with you. When talking baseball, what precisely are we talking about?
So baseball is a sport, obviously not very well recognized, but obviously with us baseball players, it is quite recognized. It's a sport that you throw a ball, you hit a ball, you run bases. So baseball is a growing sport as well within the community, especially with our outlying areas like Palm Ridge and Alex, and then we have Benoni and Boksburg. So baseball in a known is growing, especially the ladies part of it. Obviously, I'm here to represent the ladies part of baseball. It is phenomenal to see how it's grown since the last time we spoke as well. It is growing exceedingly well. So we're very excited on where we're going with this.
And Ethan, for someone who is hearing about baseball for the very first time, how do you play the sport? Perhaps you could just be getting more potential baseball players.
It's basically 9 players on a team. You've got a pitcher that throws to a catcher, and on the opposing team, you'll have 9 batters that take turns. Basically, got to hit the ball to score as many runs as possible with a total of 4 bases, running them in order whilst hitting the ball that the opposing team has thrown to you. And running the bases to score as many points as possible.
Madam G, you've brought the whole equipment here of baseball. What is what? How does it work?
Okay, Nato. So obviously, as he said, you have a batter. So the long green thing in the front there is called a bat. It's an aluminium bat. The men bat with wood bats as well, but I've brought a green bat to show everyone. The helmet is for the batters. So when the batter goes up, the helmet is worn in case you get a wild pitch and it hits you on the head. So that is for protection, basically, for the batters. We have 2 variations of the gloves. We have a fielder's glove over here, and then we have a first baseman glove, which is slightly a bit different. It's obviously got a bigger pocket in it. We have batting gloves. So, the fancy people like to put a batting glove underneath it's for batting. So, and then you obviously wear it underneath your glove. And then we have the baseball balls, which is obviously the most important part of the game. So it's a little bit smaller to a softball, but it's white in color, and that's what we play with.
Exciting indeed. Ethan, you've been playing the sport for a good 15 years, a decade and a half. How has the journey been?
It's not an easy one, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like I say, baseball's a game of mental strength. The most accredited and most well-known baseball players are well-known because they succeed 30% of the time, mentally and physically. So 15 years hasn't been easy. It's been a hell of a ride. But to change anything, probably not. So dealing with the failures in life, it teaches you life skills, along with like friends that I've had since I was 5 and 6 years old, and the people that you network with across the globe, which is really nice along the journey.
How do you evaluate your journey from Ethan that started 15 years ago to Ethan, who's now mastered the game inside out, who's now comfortable to even talk about, the do's and don'ts, but also the mental strength, having to bounce back from a bad game, looking forward to a better game, that kind of vibe.
It's definitely like a mental side of like a goldfish. So it's something we learned going to under 18 World Cup in America and listening to those people talk about the game, how they emphasize on like a short memory. And if we had to think about it like in life, it's exactly the same thing. How one bad day shouldn't affect your next day. One bad game is not going to affect my next game because short memory. It's the same thing of I play a good game, can't take that like arrogance because I've played so well into the next game. Because we have a saying like the baseball gods are watching. They'll always know. They'll help you up when you need to be helped up, but they'll also put you back down on planet Earth when you need it, which is very lovely. And it's a lesson to be learned throughout your whole career. Every stage that I've played at club, provincial or national, you learn that non-stop every week.
Having experienced the Baseball World Cup at a teen age, are we close to bridging the gap between baseball in South Africa or on the African continent versus the Americans where baseball sort of comes natural?
Unfortunately not. I mean, the win percentage that we have is not the greatest, but it's definitely something that we're working towards. I mean, the past 2 tours, both under 18 teams have gone on to at least win a game. The previous under 23 team went on to win another game. And yeah, both teams are looking to win more and more games as we progress and start baseball from the younger age in the country, which is looking very promising.
Now, promising is good because it means in future we'll tell a different story. Madam G, you've been part of the game as a player and now a mentor or a coach, if you like. How has it been from you having played the game and here you are, now you can teach others about the same game?
So it's when you're playing, it's in the heart. It comes from the heart, and it's something that you love to do. But me, from progressing from being into a player, getting to a stage in my life now where I'm able to give back to the girls, that is my passion. I love coaching the girls, mentoring them, also, again, teaching life skills. If something bad happens, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about the past. What happens next and how you use that, that's what makes a difference in life. So it goes hand in hand with life skills. But I think for me, mentoring the girls and seeing, especially with the new girls that are coming into the space, obviously not knowing baseball, and you have to progress them from that beginning part right up until like the end of the season, and you see how far they've come. It's just a proud moment. I absolutely love coaching the ladies.
And I know there's different girls out there or different kids out there, but
Yes.
more or less, how long will it take for a beginner to master the technique of the sport, but also considering that some take long to connect. I don't want to say they're slower than
No,
others.
100%. I mean, I have many of those. I mean, obviously, we go from the under 15 league, then we go into under 18s, you go into seniors. So the girls that have come into my space have been playing for quite a few years now. And then obviously on club level, we get a lot of new ladies that filter into the space. When they filter into the space, I mean, we need to teach them how to do a throwing progression. We need to teach them how to throw properly. We need to teach them how to slide properly, all those kind of things. So it doesn't take long, and I mean, you don't need to be very clever at it. I mean, anybody can play the sport, so whether you know it or you don't know it. So when you come in, you just have to know the basics. Once you've got the basics, and what you do from there is entirely up to you. I mean, we've had the young ladies, like, a few ladies that have come into it brand new into the sport, and they won't leave now. They really won't leave. But the progression from the beginning on their throwing progressions, their hitting, just their base running, and obviously understanding how the game goes to the end of like a season, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Ethan, I'm certain you'll agree with me that it's always wise and advantageous if you can play as an all-rounder versus specializing in just one position, because then it opens up opportunities, but also a starting position, so to put it.
For sure. I mean, from myself, I both pitch, play first base. I've played in the outfield, and I can hit. So it's definitely advantageous to be in that situation compared to what we call a PO, which is a pitcher only. So it's really tough in that aspect, because if you're not good at that certain aspect, for you to now backtrack your progress and now to learn the full game, it's definitely gonna like hinder your progression. But like say from my side, it's as much as it's advantageous, it's also a lot more difficult, having to try and master and get better at both skills in the same time frame that someone else is just focusing on hitting, where I've got to be able to get the hitting, the fielding, and the pitching all in the same time frame. But advantageous without a doubt, yeah.
Do you have a favorite between hitting, fielding, and pitching?
I mean, it depends on the day, to be honest. I mean, but that's, again, like going back to like what say the baseball gods. I can hit in one game and play superbly well, but then I'll pitch in the same game and it'll be complete opposite. But if I'd have to say, I'd probably pitching, prefer that.
Wow, exciting. Madam G, in terms of the league
Yes.
in South Africa, how's the structure going?
Fantastically well. So, I mean, the last time that we had spoken, I mean, we were just kind of getting the under-15s up and going. The under-15 league is now growing at a fast pace. We now have about 4 or 5 ladies in the league. So we're starting our junior league, which actually started last week. We started our first game with the junior league. So we've got about 5 under-15 girl-only teams, which is fantastic. So the under-15s have grown at a fast pace. So obviously the under-15s, they filter into the under-18s. So the under-18s, we've got 1 team at the moment. And so it's just, we're just basically concentrating on juniors now at the moment. But the league is growing at a very fast pace, and more girls are coming through. So it's just that little bite, that little egg. Just go and see if you enjoy it. I mean, I've had girls that are enticed to go to baseball to a training, and they said, "Coach, will you meet me there?" And I said, "No problem, I'll meet you there." I met them there, obviously, because I'm not part of their club, but they live in the area. And it was really nice to see, because I had them on a group and I said, "How was your training, girls?" And they were like, "Coach, we love baseball." I said, "Okay." And then every week I just asked them, how's it going? And I had the one little girl, I call her Susie, and she said, "Coach, guess what? I'm not a first base, I'm a third base." And just that for me, I was like, it's done. So it's just that enticement to get the girls to where they need to be and let them enjoy it, because it's a really enjoyable sport at the end of the day.
And talking about enjoyable, there's still a lot of people who are still not familiar with the sport. But I'm now thinking of the status quo in schools. How's your
Yes.
relationship with schools?
So at the moment, the schools, they don't have any baseball. At a very young age in the primary schools, they started with T-ball. So there is a bit of T-ball, but the T-ball fades out until they get, grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, it fades out. So it's really for the junior. So that's where we're losing a lot of the baseball players, because the guys, the schools haven't carried on with it. Then we've got schools that play softball. So the schools with the softball is quite a big sport within the school area. And I happened to coach this year, which we were brought into it. And those are the ladies that I've enticed into the baseball space. So what we're doing now is, it's something that we have to focus on as a baseball community, is to go into the schools and actually introduce it. Because I don't think a lot of the schools know about baseball either. And it's a fairly simple sport. You give the girls a bit of a glove, you have some bases, which you have softball bases already. Obviously, the first base is a little bit different, a bat, a helmet. So they have all the equipment there. We just have to go into the schools and introduce it in the right way so that the kids enjoy it.
And also, to be able to do that, you would need the Department of Education to endorse, to come on board, or even just the school itself, because it's got the school's governing body who can take that decision to
Correct.
say,
Yeah.
the more sporting codes we have, the better.
The better, yeah.
In an event that, all these stakeholders who are representing schools are tuned in to Netosportsglobal, and they're excited to hear that, you are willing to grow the sport in schools. But also the Minister of Education, the Minister of Sports.
Yes.
I'm certain they can take some of the budget and invest it into the sport of baseball. What did you like to say to them?
So definitely, and I think, when it comes to introducing it into the schools, I mean, we can really do a hard push on that. And obviously with the education department coming on board and making that one of the sports within the schools, even if it starts from T-ball and we carry it on into high school as well, not only their coaches, I think the teachers are a bit scared because they don't know baseball. So when you're introducing a new sport and you have people that don't know anything about the sport, I think it becomes a bit daunting. So nobody would want to take on that role of coaching. So we would obviously then have to mentor and help them to learn the game, and then obviously get them going in that way. That would be
Yeah.
the only way that we could obviously do it.
And they can put a budget aside for the coaches.
100%. Always helps. No, I think coaches do it out of love, Nate. So honestly, for myself as well, it really has to come from the heart. It really does. So if you have the heart to play, coaching, that's not an issue.
Ethan, your mom also mentioned softball. Are you related to it as well?
Unfortunately not. I've stuck to baseball amid the other sports that I did do in and out of school. Softball is not one that I had a fond relationship with. So baseball's my sport.
Except for baseball, what are the other sporting codes that you've tried out?
Sure. I've played rugby, I've done athletics, I've played soccer, done swimming, I've played tennis, play paddle now,
Wow.
played indoor soccer. Most days I played in and out of school. And then the love for baseball grew like so much within, like obviously in and around the family and within myself, that we just fully committed to that.
What do you love so much about baseball?
I actually don't know. It's like a sense of relief. It's no matter what's happened on a Tuesday training, on a Friday I want to go back. No matter what's happened on a Friday training, on a Saturday I want to go back, and then on Sunday I want to go to the game. Throughout like high school and stuff, we all go through like our issues, and somehow for me personally, and I know for a lot of other people that I've spoken to and like connected with through the baseball community, we all have that sense of as soon as you like step onto field, it's like the outside world disappears. Like a sense of euphoria, like baseball's our euphoria.
That feeling of general
Yeah.
happiness. Wow. And in terms of injuries, what sort of injuries are we talking about?
From baseball, I've occurred none. But
Really?
Yeah, no injuries. In grade 8, I broke my leg playing rugby.
Yeah.
And then last year November, I tore my ACL playing indoor soccer. But we are in the process of rehab now and slowly getting back into it and onto the field, and looking forward to the under-23 African qualifiers in the end of the month.
Let's talk about those under-23 African qualifiers. What are you looking forward to?
Looking forward to the opportunity to actually play against our other African countries, because of recent years, we've experienced the joy of making an African qualifiers team, and then within the 2 months of the tournament being held, it had to be cancelled because our African countries haven't been able to get themselves here, which is something we struggle with as well going to the World Cups. But yeah, so it's definitely a sense of like the unknown that I'm looking forward to, because we haven't really seen an under-23 Zimbabwe team or an under-23 Benin team. So I think that that unexpectedness that's going to arrive is something to look forward to, and actually being able to say we actually qualified for the World Cup and wasn't just given a free pass because no one else could.
What have you learned in the US that you brought back to Africa with?
Definitely, I would say a matured and bigger sense of the understanding of the game. Like we try to, in South Africa, structure our game around the US and Japan because they're known for it. But bringing that here and adapting that mentality and style of play into the way we play in South Africa, I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned and helped me get to where I am now.
And Madam G, I think this one is very exciting because I'm also thinking about the school scenario here to
Yes.
say the missing link is probably because in the US they would have started at a tender age
Absolutely.
from school setup. So by the time they're out of primary school, they are sort of semi-pros in the sport.
100%.
And then they get to high school and to another level and they just keep excelling and excelling. Whereas in our situation, we sort of delayed. And I'm just thinking just how of paramount significance it is to actually introduce the sport in schools so that, young generation grow with the sport.
Yeah.
Because my next question was going to be, how long do you think it will take for us to catch up with the likes of the US and China?
Well, obviously on the men's side of things, it's obviously it's quite a good competition, and obviously we do have a long way to go. The ladies is a good thing for us because we've kind of just started. So we're kind of getting up to scratch in that sense. So at the moment, we have the African qualifiers now in Zimbabwe, and our senior ladies then forward themselves to the World Cup next year. So they've got a World Cup to look forward to, whereas under 18s have to start at World Qualifiers. And then obviously, so there's not a lot of under 18 official sides yet. There are a few, obviously the USA has, Taiwan has, Great Britain, I believe, is just starting a side now as well. So the ladies are picking up in a very sturdy momentum, should I say. So it is very exciting. So we don't know how the other countries play on the women's side of things yet. We've obviously played Zimbabwe. In December, Zimbabwe will be there. And as far as I know, on the senior side, there will be a Uganda side as well. So they get to play Zimbabwe and Uganda. So, like Ethan said, it's nice to see how we can compete and where we are within Africa. And that will then obviously motivate us to get better for overseas for the next step, should I say.
Is baseball an expensive sport?
Do you want the truth, or
Yes,
do you
please.
want?
I want the truth.
NATO, it is an expensive sport. Obviously, we start from the equipment itself. It is quite expensive. When we go down to provincials, it's all self-funded. And World Cups. World Cups are very expensive. Your uniform is expensive. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're representing our country. We're in green and gold. So that is something we have to pay for ourselves. Accommodation, flights, HODs. It's a very big expense that we're looking at for baseball, yes, unfortunately, which is all self-funded.
Yeah, very disturbing, I must say.
Very.
How's the relationship between Baseball South Africa and the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture? Because I'm certain there's always a budget lying around in a corner of the account somewhere.
Well, when you can get that meeting, please invite me. I will bring the tea and we can have that very serious conversation. I really do think that we need to have that serious conversation around this. I mean, you know, every sport is internationally recognized, and so is baseball in this country. Baseball is a recognized sport. We're going to World Cups. We're passing the qualifiers and then we're going through. So at the end of the day, we're representing our country. We want to feel that we're representing our country, and I mean, we don't mind giving a little bit, but you know, at the end of the day, it's an honor to play for your country. So you know, we are definitely always looking for sponsors everywhere we go. But obviously, again, it's the word baseball. That's what is baseball. So that is what we sit with when we go for sponsors. So the more we can get the baseball word out there, the more people will understand what baseball is, and then maybe there'll be a little bit more, you know, giving towards sponsorship.
Exciting indeed. And also, you know, trips to various schools, educating them about the sport, you know, engaging the principals and the executives of the schools, so that eventually the sport, because I believe that school sport is the beginning of stars.
Absolutely.
You know, because that's where you get to see not just a kid in the classroom, but also a healthy mind from a sports field and doing well academically, but also with a sports career path, because not everyone is going to work at whatever industry, you know.
Yes.
Other people, sport as a business, it's a massive business, and it creates a whole lot of opportunities with athletes getting career paths, administrators, biokineticists, and so many other role players behind the scenes. Exciting indeed. It's you mentioned Benin coming, you mentioned Zim coming. Are you scared of any of them?
I'm never scared on the baseball field.
Yeah.
And I think my teammates will back me. We're going in with confidence. We're going in knowing what we can do. The previous Under-23 World Cup we went and we won a game, which no one expected. The last Under-23 team to do that was in 2016. So we definitely know we've got a big core group of guys that played in that 23 team last year. So I think we're definitely going with confidence, but not too much because of the unexpectedness that's coming our way.
So the winners of the tournament goes to the World Cup?
Yeah.
Or?
The winners of the African qualifiers will go to the next World Cup, and there might be a wild card spot for the second place team for the Under-23 World Cup, which is happening next year, November, in Nicaragua, Central America.
Wow. Marvelous indeed. Madam G, a girl child has always proved me something exciting, where they've proven that what a boy child can do, a girl child can do, and a lot of times even better. What have you witnessed on the baseball field when it comes to a girl child? Are they that competitive, or are just like girls?
So, I mean, obviously when baseball started, we didn't have the leagues that we have running now, which has obviously grown, and we can have our own women's league. I mean, we just ended off with a whole winter league now where it was just a whole ladies. So we had probably about 9 ladies sides that we could enter into our own league without entering into the boys' league. So obviously at a young age, all the ladies started playing off like under 12s, under 10s, and it was a mixed side kind of thing. And to see the ladies, I mean, a lot of my under-18s used to play in those mixed sides as well. They've obviously come over to the ladies' side of things. But pitching-wise, phenomenal. I mean, I've got 2 pitchers in my side and a couple more where you put them against guys and, you know, you're standing there and the guy's like, I'm going to hit you for a bomb. And then it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. So the pitching-wise, we just as quick as the boys. The running-wise, we can run exactly like the boys. We play like the boys. We can throw like the boys. So, I mean, the only fundamental part is obviously body-wise. I mean, obviously, we've got the hips, we've got, you know, other fundamentals, but we can play baseball just as well as the boys. So we are there. Yeah.
Ethan,
Check, you
what
see
kind
his
of a
face?
player is Madame Geraldine?
Oh, wow.
What kind of a player is your mother?
She's definitely a hard player. Although in her old age, she's gotten a little bit soft, to be
Wow.
honest. But no, very, very dedicated player, very committed, all in, no matter what, which is definitely where I've gotten that from, which is a good thing. She's very, like I say, hardworking. She puts her body on the line no matter what for the team. So it's really good qualities.
For a baseball player her age, do you still speak of areas of improvement, or it's just one of those where she just has to pitch with her A game?
No, with her age now, she can just, as long as she's there for the team, we will be good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Madam
Nato,
G.
I was telling you a funny story, and obviously when I was still playing the senior side, and I was like, okay, because he's a first baseman and I'm a first baseman, I said to him, okay, come give me some extra training, and as we go. So I said, help me with my fielding, help me with my batting, no problem. He gets so annoyed with me, then he's like, no, you're just wasting my time. No more fielding, let's go bat. I think I bat like 3 balls of the training that he's giving me. He's like, no, you're just wasting my time. So it's amazing to see how he gets frustrated with me when it was the other round when he was quite small, trying to teach him the fundamentals. It kind of rolls back on itself.
Who influenced you into this game?
Probably both my mom and my dad, to be honest. They both have a background in both baseball and softball. Both gone very far in each of their faculties. And I was literally just born into the game. I remember stories that I've heard from many different people around the sport of how they've all known me since I couldn't even walk, and how I would be there getting breastfed in the dugouts and just always at the field. And then from as soon as I was able to play in leagues, it was giving it all horns.
Exciting indeed. Your sister Gabby is here. What sport does she play?
She plays paddle, she plays volleyball, which is pretty interesting. We always thought she was going to be the black sheep of the family and more like the artsy-fartsy type of person. But she's definitely growing and finding her roots, that she is actually a sportsman. And she has recently started baseball, actually.
Oh,
which
Yes.
is
good news.
interesting.
I can see with a big smile of happiness from your mom that
100%.
it's a family thing now. Wow. Gabby, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to Netosportsglobal.
Afternoon. Thank you for having us.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks, and you?
I see they've spread out this virus of baseball into you now. It's a good virus, you agree?
I do agree very much. It's definitely been an eye-opening being on the field instead of sitting on the side. It's a different feeling than actually just watching a boring game.
Yeah.
So especially standing on the field there, looking around, the excitement that you feel inside is changing.
Exciting indeed. And I'm certain you've seen your mother in action and your brother in action. Who's a good player between the two?
Uh-oh.
My brother.
Your brother?
Yeah, I've always looked up to my brother. He's always been my biggest supporter. Even my number on my jersey is his birth year. So I've always looked up to him. Just seeing him play on the field, like, it's a proud sister moment. My mom is a good player too, but it's just my brother's always been my
What do you
idol.
get up to when it's just you and your brother? What do you talk about? Or is it a secret?
We talk about a lot. There's a lot of jokes. There's obviously sibling banter every now and then. There's always a fight now and then. If I do need help with baseball, he's always there for me, everything like that. But other than that, it's a secret.
Exciting indeed.
Good answer.
Madam G, your
Yes.
better half, Brachert, is also here.
He is.
A man who can speak isiZulu. Sawubona baba.
Apparently.
Sabona.
Kunjani?
Khona njani wena?
Hayi nami ngiyaphila.
Naphila.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu man ngokusijoyina namhlanje.
Ngiyabonga.
Let's talk about your loving lady here. How did you meet and what do you like so much about her?
Strange enough, we met at the baseball field.
Wow. So
yes.
you see, when you are looking for love, go to the baseball field. You might just come back a happy man.
Who knows, yes.
Yeah.
Anything is possible, yes.
You're also involved in the sport. How did you get involved?
Basically, my daughter started playing baseball and we played in a club in Pretoria called Valhalla. Then we started provincials and I started coaching as well. Then we went to provincials and now I'm the SA assistant coach. That's it.
What do you think needs to happen for baseball to make it to the highest possible bar in the country so that it becomes cultural for people to talk about baseball?
Exposure, exposure, exposure. So the more exposure there is for baseball in all levels, from grassroots level to senior level to school levels to different places in the country as well, it's all about exposure. So the more exposure baseball gets in all types of industries and levels and so forth, I think the sport will grow tremendously.
If Madame Geraldine is having a bad day, what signs are you going to point at to pick up that it's not one of those good days?
Well, luckily she do have telltale signs,
Wow.
so that I know. Listen, yeah, just back off a bit, keep quiet,
Yeah.
stay calm,
Take a
have,
back
have a
seat.
cup of tea, have a cup of juice, and yes, unfortunately, there's not a lot of those days because she's a very positive person. But you get those days that unfortunately you're just a bit not yourself, but us as a family, we work together and we support each other and carry each other through the difficult times as well.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a baseball family.
Thank you for.
Marvelous indeed. As we wrap up our conversation, where to from here in terms of the calendar? We're heading into December now. We now live in different times where back in the days, December was a month for people to relax, get together as families, braai meet. But times have changed. You'll be heading to Zim for all things baseball. Around the 21st of December, it's the Africa Cup of Nations in football, concluding on the 18th of January in 2026. So those Christmas days or day after Christmas, there'll just be a whole lot of football action. But now, even with cricket, it's the same. It's
Yeah.
the summer of cricket. So times have changed. The sport has taken over the entire calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to our next calendar now. So obviously we've got a lot happening in the calendar right now. So we have the Junior League that's kicked off now. From the Junior League, we then head off the 10th to the 15th of December. We head off to Zimbabwe, both the under 18 and the senior ladies side. So we head off there for Africa qualifiers. When we come back, we carry on with juniors, and then we select our Gauteng side. And then the Gauteng side, we then go to provincials in April. So we've got a very busy calendar year ahead of us. So yeah, there's no Christmas.
Wow. Interesting indeed. Ethan, there's always a good Samaritan out there tuning into Netosportsglobal who doesn't know what to do with their billions, or even if they do, but they are just too many to finish. So they don't want to go the separate direction with the rain when the rain is coming down and they go to heaven and they leaving behind billions that they couldn't utilize or put to a good cause. What did you like to say to this good Samaritan who can plow this money back to the sport of baseball so that it grows to be a culture in South Africa?
I definitely think these people haven't obviously been exposed to the baseball side of things. But I mean, like it was mentioned earlier, it's become a thing of like, if we're going to look towards like BEE levels, which we also have, and at the beginning of things, it was like, okay, we only have these in place because the government said so. But now, because of the exposure that we have, Palm Ridge, Alex, in the Vaal, in Cape Town, there's certain locations that also have their teams. Those kids also need to be funded. I mean, we're looking at kids that are working from the age of 15, same race, same background that this billionaire grew up and made themselves worth millions. They need that someone in their life to aid them. I mean, if we look at like a team like Alex, those are a group of guys that I've made plenty of friends from Alex throughout my career, and guys that I'm like decently good friends with, and we can have a conversation outside of baseball very easily, where they would like highly appreciate the money, and it's really not that much that people like are having to give up. Like say billions, if that guy gives away 0.05% of what he has, I guarantee they will make the most of it. And at the end of the day, these kids are assets to South African baseball from these areas. And if people are able and willing to actually open themselves up to seeing that these are assets for a growing sport in an investment for them, I think it will really open their eyes into investing into, even if it's just those kids, into baseball. I think it would be highly important.
Madam G, how far would a billion rand go to developing the sport of baseball in South Africa?
Neto, that's a good question. It would go a hell of a long way. Like Ethan says, we have, undeveloped areas. They battle with transport, number one. So to get to and from a field is quite a bit of a problem. Equipment is a huge problem for them as well. So obviously there are families that are able to afford. But when I say the talent pool from those areas alone, blow me away. They are naturally talented. There's no ways that they cannot be in the sport, and we don't ever want to chase them away. So we as a community, we call it a baseball family, we try and do everything we can in our power to make sure that they are at games, to make sure that they are fed at the fields, to make sure that they have a water. But it's not only those kids, there's a lot of other struggling families, where a dad has lost a job or a mom has lost a job. Those families too, we try and help wherever we can. We try and do fundraisers, but those fundraisers remain within the baseball family. Those fundraisers need to be spread out so that we get more, attract more people to come into it. So it would go a huge way. I mean, we're looking at provincials. Provincials are self-funded. The World Cup as well. The World Cup for some of those kids is a huge honor when they are announced in that team. To see those eyes glow that they are going to wear green and gold. That's what it means for them. It means a lot of other things for a lot of other people. But to wear your green and gold colors and to see their faces when their names have been announced is just, it's on another level. So that money would go a long way to help facilitate those kind of things.
Ethan is going to Central America next year, November, for the World Cup, because I know that South Africa is going to beat Benin, Zimbabwe, and whoever else is on the path. How much would a trip like that cost just for him before we even spread it out to the entire team?
Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, if we look at, I've been to an under-18 World Cup and an under-23 World Cup. Within 2 years of each other, America was looking at around 65,000 Rand.
Yeah.
I went to China, that was 45 to 50,000 Rand within 2 years of space for each other. So we're looking at, call it 120,000 Rand over a 2-year gap. So we're probably looking at round about the same 50 to 60,000 Rand.
And if you have 9 players on the field playing at a time, obviously you've got reserves and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're looking at how many in total, 15 to 20?
So generally you have to go down with at least a minimum of 18 players, obviously due to injuries, and then you've obviously got all your staff, your assistant coaches, your managers, your physios, etc. So it's a good squad of about 25, 26 people that go down at once.
So that's like 60,000 rands times 26 people.
100%. Don't ask me to do the math.
No. I'm trying to say this billion rand will go a long way.
100%.
So that, the good Samaritan then knows where is their billion going.
100%.
Wow. As we wrap up, I want us to get into an activity where I want to know who knows the other better. How well do you know your son? How well do you know your daughter? So Ethan, if your mother is coaching and the team is not doing as well as she hoped they would as a coach, what do you think she would do between 3 things? Throw a bottle of water on the floor, or shake her head, or maybe even a swear word at a low volume? Which one of the 3?
I don't think there'll be a water bottle thrown. I think a very disappointed nod of the head, because I've seen that in the house plenty times as well. And definitely a sly little swear word on the side there.
Yeah, is that true?
No, definitely not.
What did you do in a situation like that?
No, I must say. So I'm a very motivational thing, and
Things.
I know those 2 things, and it's none of those things in your mom's eyes. So you always have to pick up the girls, because if you are down, they go down, and the other way around. So I always try and motivate them. Like I said before, whatever happens has happened. We need to wipe it off and we need to carry on. So I'm very positive. He obviously he's not in the dugout with his mother quite often. So I'm a very positive person when it comes to girls. I have to be. I'm the mentor. I'm their coach. I have to show them the right way. So none of those 3 things, as far as he says. In the house may be different, because, but not on the field.
And when Ethan grew up, if he got into a naughty moment, doing something that he's not supposed to do, where would he run to go and soften up a certain heart between you and the father?
He would definitely come and try with his mom because he knows whether he wouldn't get it away with his dad, that's for sure. So he would kind of soften up by his mom because he knew what was coming was, Mom, just soften it up a little bit for me because he knew it was coming if
And
he
then
was
what
naughty.
do you say to the dad to make sure there's peace and harmony?
Yo, it depends on what he did, Neto. Really, no. He was never really a bad child. I must be honest. He really wasn't. But I mean, there were those few tweaks and whatever the case would be. That we really had a good childhood with both of them. So, but yeah, just a few. Just leave it alone. We'll sort it out. So yeah, it was always Mom's side for that because he knew.
Wow, fantastico. Final one. How does a young child who's tuning in to Netosports Global right now, who is certain they've made up their mind, they want to play baseball, how do they go about it?
So I think the first thing they need to do is obviously we just need to find out what area they're from. So there's different clubs in the different areas. So I would say like for Boksburg, you search Boksburg Baseball and it'll come up with all the details. Benoni Northerns, and then there's Giants Imps, there's Alberton Stars, there's Valhalla, which is in Pretoria. There's the Vol Dodgers. So there are a few clubs. They just need to go onto Facebook and put in baseball or baseball clubs or even in Google, just baseball clubs in the area and search a club and get hold of somebody for sure.
How many subscriptions are we getting as Netosports Global from Baseball South Africa with all these different areas you've mentioned?
Hopefully plenty, Nato.
Hopefully
Hopefully plenty.
And plenty to you, as far as I know you, is 1,000, right?
100%. We're going to spread far and wide. Like we said earlier, you have to get baseball. When people know what baseball is and knows it's a growing sport, it's an international sport. We are going internationally. We just have to get it out there. We have to just keep pushing door to door, shall we say. Just keep pushing.
Magnificento. Thank you so much for coming to Netosports Global.
Thank you for having me again, Nato. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Ethan, thank you so much for pulling through. Final one. A young child who would like to play baseball, but they are still not clear what the sport is all about. What would you like to say to them so they have no fears?
Definitely life lessons beyond baseball in your career, your school career, and friendships. We emphasize it a lot as coaches also. The friendships that I've built in baseball, I have countless, probably 20 to 30 friendships that I've had stemming from 15 years ago that I could specialize that came from baseball. One of my best friends, Kieran, we started playing baseball together. We went to rival schools. I went to JP High School for boys, he went to KES. You don't see eye to eye, but through baseball, our friendship prolonged from 5 years old to where we are now. So I think that's probably for young people, friendships is the key one.
The power of baseball, the power of sport.
For sure.
Thank you so much for joining us on Netosports Global.
Thank you for having me. It was really, really good.
Marvelous, fantastico, and that brings us to the conclusion of Netosports Global Episode 6, proudly powered by the Academy of Sound Engineering. Remember to do the correct thing, like and subscribe. Let's grow together. My name is Neto, Neto Chemani. Hosiati, Konyangazi, Mumka, Drapadle Kunjani, Moyani, Vugu Dendele. Africa and the world, be nice, be kind, be good to a global citizen because we rise by lifting others. Ngachivenda bari. Cheers.
Netosports Global. Netosports Global. Hashtag NSG. Remember to like and subscribe.